Our servicemen and women frequently suffer loneliness and separation while defending our freedom. And oftentimes a letter is the only communication they have to look forward to or to share that experience with those back home.
It's very true. And today we are reading excerpts of letters from many wars that have been preserved by the Library of Congress Veterans History Project.
That's right. And Chapman University's Center for American War Letters. Wonderful.
These institutions are eager to receive your family's letters and photographs to make them accessible to everyone.
That's right, and they should be read by everyone as well. Matt, you're going to read a letter today that was written by an American prisoner from World War II.
I am. This is heavy, man.
This is very heavy.
This is a real deal. In 1945, 21-year-old Tommy Kennedy of Maricopa, California, scribbled his final letter to his parents on the back of a family photo that he had carried with him throughout the war. And this is obviously some of what he wrote to them. He says, "Mommy and Dad, it is pretty hard to check out this way without a fighting chance. But we can't live forever. I'm not afraid to die. I just hate the thought of not seeing you again. I guess you could tell Patty that fate just didn't want us to be together." And he signs it, "Loving and waiting for you in the world beyond, your son, Lieutenant Tommy Kennedy."
Can you imagine getting that letter from a son? An update on Lieutenant Kennedy. He was captured during the Battle of Corregidor in 1942. He was held as a POW until his death when he died of malnutrition.
All right, Paige, your letter came from a young woman writing to reassure her grandparents during the Gulf War.
Here.
Right.
Pass those down.
Jeez.
These thoughts are from Christine Ann Mahler, a staff sergeant in the U.S. Army during the Persian Gulf War. It says, "Dear Grandma and Grandpa, I don't want you to worry, but I've got to tell you I'm pretty close to the border. I'm in the neutral zone between Saudi, Iraq, and Kuwait. My mission here is to support the ground troops with ammunition, mainly artillery. It looks like the ground battle will start soon. Wesley told me not to worry because things were going real good for our side, but we still don't have any news. You take care of yourselves, and I'll write again soon. Love, Christy."
And an update on Sergeant Mahler. She safely returned home to her family in Indiana, and she visited a third grade class that wrote to her during her deployment.
Isn't that great?
Oh,
Wonderful. All right, Orly.
Yes, all right. So this one is from a letter written near Anzio, Italy on April 25th, 1944. The soldier was surprised by an attack of mortar shells that tore a bullet hole in his letter. Oh my God. "Dear Dick, something happened the other day that I wanted you to know about. I was kneeling in my foxhole, standing guard, when they started to throw mortar shells near my hole. I heard a swoosh and I fell on my stomach. One of the shells had landed and exploded. My rifle was found about 10 feet away, but my helmet about 40 yards away."
Wow. The bullet hole in there says so much.
In that photo.
There's no real details about this particular soldier, but it's fair to say that he represents a lot of the remarkable experiences so many of those who have served our country experience.
absolutely. Shirley, you have an email from a very special female Marine sergeant.
Oh, this is from Gunnery Sergeant Rosemary Noel to her unit captain, Jeffrey Clemens, after Rosemary had been hit in the face by shrapnel during the Iraq War. She writes, "Sir, I want to reassure you I'm fine. I've spoken to my mother and informed her not to say anything to my boys. I am truly blessed and lucky to be sitting here right now. The shrapnel is quite large, and had it hit my neck, who knows? Hopefully, I will be back in Al-Assad tomorrow. Please let everyone know that I'm fine and in great spirits, and that I got to take a hot shower."
That means a lot to those who are serving.
Yeah, it does. Sergeant Knoll went on to become the first female Marine gunnery sergeant to be awarded the Purple Heart.
Okay.
That is wonderful.
It's your turn. Are you
Okay,
you good?
I am.
This one is a little far-reaching.
It is,
Yeah.
and it has a connection to us on Home and Family and Hallmark.
Okay.
This is actually a Hallmark card sent in 1944, a real Hallmark card by Staff Sergeant Kenji Ogata. Kenji wrote, "Just didn't want you to think I'd forgotten, darling. After this is all over, honey, we're going to have a lot of these cards sent us. I should be home in 7 weeks and would like very much to have a date with you. If you're not busy, please hold about 15 consecutive dates for me. Maybe you will go steady with me. I love you, Kenji.
Oh.
Staff Sergeant Kenji Ogata had enlisted the day after Pearl Harbor and was prevented from flying because of his race. He was finally given a chance to fly, not as a pilot, but as a turret gunner during the course of 35 missions out of Italy. He was shot down twice over enemy territory. Wow. His letters to his wife, Wilma, convey not only his dedication to her, but also to doing his patriotic duty, even as his country discriminated against him.
These stories are just so remarkable, and they just rip your heart out. This letter was written by Sergeant David Eugene Tazara, who survived numerous mortar attacks in Vietnam. Here's what he writes. Dear all, I've got some wonderful news for you all. The Lord saved me again last night. About 2 a.m., we got hit with over 100 incoming rounds. This bunker I'm in now took a direct hit by a 75 millimeter recoilless rifle, and the only damage done was 2 cracked main beams and 1 hole. The round went through 6 layers of sandbags. I quickly ran into the bunker, and no more than 30 seconds, one hit right on top of us. This sure is a nice place to spend your last 27 days at, and to tell you the truth, I'm a bit nervous, to say the least. I can't imagine the fear of that. David Tazara was awarded the Purple Heart in 1969 for wounds sustained in combat.
Look at the picture.
These letters say so much about the horrors of war and what each of these individuals who serve us collectively have shared. And that's why Veterans Day is so important for us to take time to acknowledge what they have done, the prices that they have paid for our freedom.
And to never forget.